Have you ever found yourself in a position where you have to find a better way to do your job or improve business processes at work? If so, you should find that the solutions are often coming from technologies. This solution can also be quite expensive at times. A more important question is, will technologies always result in good business solutions? If not, why? In this chapter, we'll discuss potentials of information technologies and information systems, and the basic concepts of managing these important business resources. My goal for this presentation is not to talk about some IT statistics such as profits and cost saving from IT investment, but rather to discuss its overall impact from a holistic point of view. Let's watch this first video and see how technologies can influence some industries.
The NBA playoffs are now in full swing, the focus shifting between the Miami Heat's attempt at a three-peat and the lifetime ban imposed on LA Clippers owner Donald Sterling. But behind the scenes, there's something going on that the average fan never sees. A revolution of sorts. A growing army of math nerds analyzing all kinds of data that more and more impact which players are drafted, which free agents signed, and how teams actually play the game. What began with Oakland A's general manager Billy Beane and Moneyball more than a decade ago has now become the rule in almost every sport. An invasion of numbers men who see baseball, basketball, soccer, and hockey not so much as games, but as problems to be solved. It's a Friday night in April and the Houston Rockets are home against the Oklahoma City Thunder as both teams drive toward the playoffs. On the court, the Rocket stars are lighting up the scoreboard. Often in a nondescript room under the stands, there's another Rockets team that may be nearly as important. It's a team of data analysts assigned to scrutinize and dissect every play. Their boss is Rockets general manager and chief geek, Daryl Morey.
Think of one jump shot and think of if you could quantify everything. Did the ball go in because he's a good shooter? Did he go in because a good pick was set? Did it go in because the pass to him was good? Did it go in because the defense was bad? Did it go in because where he was on the floor and how comfortable? There's like 100 factors that go into one jump shot going in or not going in.
And this team's job is to find all of them, then use them to enlighten players like emerging star Chandler Parsons.
Daryl Morey is very into that, and so he'll show me all these numbers of where I shoot the ball good on the floor, where my low percentages are on the floor, and in the back of my mind, I'm always using that during a game to not get to those spots or to get to my hot spots.
The data show that a three-pointer from the corner is pro basketball's most efficient shot, so the Rockets fire up a flurry of those. The numbers say mid-range jump shots are the least effective, so they want to avoid them. As far as the data, is it being used quarter by quarter, game by game? How is it being implemented?
With the coaching staff, yeah, we have information provided, generally at halftime. That's when you can look at it, take a step back, analyze it, change what you're going to say to the team at halftime and do it.
To help make those real-time decisions, the Rockets and every other NBA team have a powerful new tool to deliver more and better data. So, Brian, SportView camera.
Yes.
That's it?
This is it right here.
Holy cow.
That's the camera.
That tiny camera is at the heart of a system called SportView, and Brian Kopp convinced the NBA to install it in every arena this season. His company, Stats, has long been the leader in providing mountains of data for all sports.
The developers that founded SportView is an Israeli company, and they worked in the Israeli Defense Forces on missile tracking technology.
Instead of tracking missiles, the 6 SportView cameras mounted in the rafters track every movement of every player on the court, plus the ball, and feed all that information, nearly 1 million data points for every game, into computers for processing by complex algorithms.
So now for every shot, you don't just know there was a shot. You know where he was, where the closest defender was, how many dribbles he took before he did it, how far he ran before he took the shot. The way you can use the data to analyze it is almost limitless.
For those of us that weren't great in math, you're basically talking about how fast LeBron James gets from point A to point B.
Yeah.
And then what happens when he gets to B.
Right. It's everything before A, during A to B, and after B. And not just LeBron, but all the other players in the court.
Kopp says the ability to track every player's every move yields crucial insight into individual and team performance. Do you look at the data sometimes and say, oh, no wonder they're winning?
The San Antonio Spurs. We looked at data during their winning streak, and the way they pass the ball and the number of players they get involved in the offense is so much higher than anybody else. They have more players averaging 40 touches per game than any other team by far. I'm sure if you sat down with Greg Popovich, he would say, I knew that without these crazy cameras. A lot of people knew that, but they didn't know the data behind it, or they didn't know the extent of it, and they didn't know the gap between what they were doing and everybody else in the league.
With all the analytics and the numbers and the data now, get a pretty good idea who guys are, and there's no hiding.
35-year-old Miami Heat veteran Shane Battier is arguably the NBA's best-known numbers man. His love of advanced metrics, particularly the tendencies of his opponent, has produced a career far longer and more lucrative than his physical gifts might predict. It seems like you play the odds as efficiently as possible.
Every player, good, bad, ugly, and different, has a strength and a weakness. When I came in the league 13 years ago, scouting reports consisted of the old eyeball test, and it was usually a page long.
Yeah.
And it said, Joe Smith likes to go left. Well, great. How often does he go left? How good is he going left? Oh, he just likes to go left. Nowadays, they'll say, well, Joe likes to go left 70% of the time. But you know what? He's 10% less efficient going to his left. So even though he likes to go left, he's not as good going to his left. Now, when he goes right and shoots a layup, he is top 5 in the league. So that's the worst case scenario. Never let Joe Smith drive right, make a layup, because he's going to beat you.
Before Battier helped the Miami Heat win the last 2 NBA championships, he played for the Houston Rockets, and Daryl Morey was his GM. It was a perfect pairing. A player who loved numbers and a GM with a computer science degree from Northwestern who was trying to start a data revolution in the NBA.
Let me show you another video. So now we see how influential technologies such as analytics are to the game of basketball. Technologies have much farther impacts on this industry besides helping a team win. It also helps improve experiences that audience can have at the sport venues. The sports stadiums today have to be equipped with many technology infrastructure. These examples show some benefits businesses can gain from investing on the right technologies and using it right. It helps improves decision-making in this case. This benefit at this magnitude is, however, what most cannot seem to imagine, just 5 or 10 years ago. So let's think about other benefits that you can expect from using the right technologies. First, information systems can bring about more efficiency to business processes. A classic of technology that help improve business process efficiency is ATM machine, which allows customers to conduct financial transactions without assistance from bankers. We are now seeing this concept of self-service being applied everywhere, like self-checkout at grocery stores and self-check-in at the airport. These technologies help business achieve operational excellence by expediting business processes and saving cost. Technologies also help businesses make better and faster decisions. You can see such benefits from using technologies such as database and data warehouse. Some can also be used to improve relationship with customers and supplies. Think of the case of Amazon when it tries to get to understand your shopping behaviors and predict what you want to add to your shopping cart by using intelligent agent. Similar implications can be found in the relationship between businesses and their suppliers. In some cases, businesses use technologies to gather product ideas. It may use web mining technologies to perform content analysis on a social network website to fetch for information about people's likes and dislikes. They can later use that information to redesign their products and services. Today, we also have options of many business models fueled by the internet, such as fixed price and auction. Online auction is an example of a relatively new business models that did not exist before the internet. When you think about this, these benefits are not that new. We used information systems and information technologies to achieve them for a long time. The most interesting thing is the magnitude of these benefits is getting bigger and bigger. Like the case of sport analytics I showed you earlier. I still got goosebumps every time I watch the video. A more important thing is these benefits can lead to competitive advantages and make the business gain a better position in the marketplace. It's also about how and when we apply the technologies. The reason that eBay is the biggest online auction house in the world is because it used the internet technology creatively. It was an idea that no one thought of before, or at least no one executed this idea successfully before. It's also important to recognize that when a poor application of IT can lead the loss of competitive advantages. In some cases, technologies can become liabilities to you. When technology reaches its maturity, you may find that business will have to use them only to survive. The ATM machine, for instance, is not a technology that doesn't give competitive advantages to businesses anymore. Rather, it becomes a requirement. Can you think of any technology that are like that? What's about online banking? Can you think of any consumer bank today that doesn't offer online banking to its customer? If you can think of one, let me know. I'll tell all my friends and family to close their accounts before it goes out of business. Since information systems and technologies can potentially improve strategic position of a business, we therefore need to look at the goals that you want to achieve from the IT investment before choosing the right information systems and technologies. So far, I've used the terms information systems and information technologies quite interchangeably. They are, however, not the same thing. Let me make sure we have the same understanding about this. IT is generally computer components in an information system, such as software and hardware. It helps transform or process data or input into some outputs. Information system are, however, sets of interrelated components that collect or retrieve, store, and distribute information. So when we talk about MIS, we look at the planning, developing, managing, and using IT tools to help people perform all tasks related to information processing and management. Both information technology and system are interacting with users like yourself. They are also residing in an environment that gives them interactions with customers, suppliers, stockholders, businesses, competitors, and regulatory agencies. This figure seems quite simple, but if we look closer, we'll see that these people can be both users and producers of information to a business. For example, customers give us their information such as age and address so that we get to know them better. They are also using information that businesses create, such as product and price catalog on firms' websites, to make their decisions. Since information technology and system are integral parts of organizations, the choice of information technology and system, how they are designed and used, should be determined by business strategies and business process. Again, this is a very simple thing to say. Very textbook language. How's about you tell me if you ever think of redesigning a business process at work? Keep that answer with you for now. Then think of what are the tools that you're used to change that business process. We'll come back to this in just a little bit. I'm not going to repeat the definition of business processes that you see here. In a nutshell, business processes are formal rules that have been developed over a long period of time for accomplishing tasks. Some examples are listed here. So take your time to think if your answer earlier fits to this definition. The example that you see here shows a business process that we all are familiar with: placing an order. Fulfilling a customer order, however, involves a complex set of steps that requires the close coordination of the sales, accounting, and manufacturing functions. As you glance at these business processes, can you identify some processes that can improve? According to the picture, the business performs credit check of customers after receiving an order. What if we allow credit check to take place even before that? If it's possible, it means this business can start assemble the products ordered by the customers sooner, and means they can ship the product to the customer earlier and ship the product sooner. Another example is getting a mortgage approved when you purchase a home. It is a long process. Generally, buyers want to wait until they finish home inspection before order a home appraisal. Can we do them at the same time? Does it make sense? It's just something to think about. If we can do that, the customers will eventually become happy campers. Yeah. Such changes in business processes will eventually have implications on the design of information systems. Another example that I think of is redesigning business process of getting security check at the airport. No one likes to get in such a long line. Fortunately, someone at TSA think of the pre-screening program that allows frequent travelers to register their information. Those that do that don't have to wait in line, and at the same time make the lines for people like me a little shorter. Air travelers today also have a convenience of pre-check-in of suitcases and print boarding passes 24 hours before the flight. Of course, to do that, airlines have to rethink their business rules and later redesign their information systems such as databases. I want to give you an example of how the change in business processes changes business rules and later change the design and choice of technologies. Let's think of a university that look at how faculty can serve students by giving them advising service. At some universities, faculty are required to have such a formal role. In the advising process, you have to think of a rule such as: can a student have more than one faculty as advisor at a time? The answer to that will becomes a business rule. Later, it will have impact on how many database tables have to be added to the database. It will also have impact on where to place foreign key that will link tables inside that database. The change in business rule will be captured in a diagram called Entity Relationship Diagram that looks like this. For this class, we won't have to learn how to design a database, but you at least now know some tools that are used to capture business roles. Now that we discussed about benefits from using information systems, and how business strategies and processes influence choice and design of information systems, What are options of information systems out there that can help you achieve those benefits? At the foundation level, you should expect database and data warehouse systems. These systems have become the core of many other information systems used by today's businesses. Those systems are Transaction Processing Systems or TPS, Decision Support Systems or DSS, Business Intelligence or BI, Executive Information Systems or ESS, Customer Relationship Management System or CRM, Supplier Chain Management System or SCM, Enterprise Resource Planning System or ERP, an Electronic Collaboration System. Please note that the lines that separate these systems are becoming thinner and thinner. For example, you may expect to find BI as a part of CRM and SCM today. For that reason, I didn't include a system called MIS in this discussion. Of all these systems, the one that should be most familiar to you is the TPS or Transaction Processing Systems. Example of these systems are self-checkout, kiosk, and something that you may interact on almost daily basis. TPS are often used to improve speed of transaction or cut cost. When you have business activities that are routine and can be standardized, those activities are great candidate for TPS systems because TPS will help automate flow of transactions. Can you think of any business activities at work that are very routine and can be standardized? Unlike TPS, Decision Support Systems or DSS are useful for activities that are not routine. DSS is an information systems that are also familiar to you. It is spreadsheet software like Excel. We call them DSS. DSS is generally used for non-routine decision making. Data in DSS may come from TPS. DSS is however good for problems that perhaps cannot be well defined in advance. In the following chapter, we will learn about some functionalities in Excel to handle different scenarios. Some of you might have used what-if analysis in Excel before. It is a spreadsheet model that allows users to calculate outcomes of different scenarios. That is an example of spreadsheet model that handle a somewhat non-routine and unstructured problem. Next is Business Intelligence or BI. It is an information systems that help organize, analyze data. It often provides data mining functionalities to users such as performing classification and prediction. The result of BI can reveal a new knowledge that businesses did not aware of and can be very valuable strategically. We will discuss more about BI in the next chapter. Results or knowledge that we gain from DSS and BI can be used as input for another system called Executive Information System or ESS. ESS is a highly interactive system often used by high-level manager or executive. Information presented in ESS are therefore not limited to information generated internally. Just because executives have to be aware of the business's surrounding environment. ESS are therefore often developed uniquely for the organization because different organizations have different information requirements. This picture of digital dashboard shows how interactive the user interface of an ESS is. If you click at different checkbox here, ESS will produce different graphics automatically. Like I said earlier, we now see the line that separates these systems getting thinner and thinner. You now can expect digital dashboard in some systems that are used by middle-level manager or regular users like us. Many stock brokerage firms today offers their customers a web-based digital dashboard so that their clients can monitor the movement of stock easily. Now, if we feed the knowledge and result we learn from DSS and BI to a system that is designed to learn about customers' behaviors, we consider that system a Customer Relationship Management System or CRM. Amazon's initiative to sell their products to you even before you know what you want or their anticipatory shipping program is a result of BI that is targeted on people like you and me. This program was in the news almost on every major television channel in 2014. How does a program like this fit to the context of our discussion? This anticipatory shipping program is another example of a system that helps facilitate business process redesign. Instead of waiting for a customer to order before start packing the package, they bypass that step. Is this similar to the example of getting customer credit approved before they place the order? I hope you look at information systems a little differently today. The thing is, we however don't know if this anticipatory program is now in place or being dismissed. What nice about this? A program like this put Amazon on spotlight, which means more sales to their businesses. Very smart, right? If we apply the same thing that we can do with customers to suppliers, we will have a system called Supply Chain Management Systems, or SCM. Let's look at another example of Amazon. This is an example that is also outside the book. I hope you all like this kind of example better. To me, they are more relevant and more fun. You may know that Amazon now has become a marketplace where you can buy products from thousands of sellers. As more and more third-party sellers have signed up to offer products through Amazon and use its order fulfillment services, the Seattle-based giant has allowed many to pool their inventory with supposedly identical items supplied by other sellers, in essence commingling products from third-party merchants with those supplied directly to Amazon by the brands themselves. In other words, a product ordered from a third-party seller may not have originated from that particular seller. If the barcode matches, anyone that is on the shelf will do. Whoa. That was my reaction when I read this news from the Wall Street Journal. CRM and SCM are systems that you can expect to see in a larger system called Enterprise Resource Planning System, or ERP. ERP is a system that integrates business processes such as sales, manufacturing, HR, accounting, and many others into one system so that users will have a more consistent information. We will talk about this system later in the semester. It is, however, important to note that these systems we are discussing now are often running on the Internet. I'm not going to talk about Internet and its cousins like Intranet and Extranet. You need to go over that in the book though. The last system we'll talk about here is the electronic collaboration system. It is a system that you can also expect to in many other systems. Again, the separating line is getting thinner. Have you used collaboration system before? Chances are, you might have. Examples are Wiki, social networking, and other familiar systems. These systems has become almost a functionality in a larger system. For example, instant messaging was very popular on its own right over a decade ago. Now, it is just a function that you can find in ERP and other larger systems. You may also want to know that Microsoft stopped providing instant messaging service in 2013. It is because of their acquisition of Skype. I think I am digressing. My bad. I thought you may want to know some fun facts like this. Another interesting e-collaboration system is the virtual world, which is a system that allows people to meet in the online 3D environment. You may think this is very sci-fi and you may not get to see them in this lifetime. Let's bet on this. If you will buy me a Taco Bell. If you like to bet with me, you just lost that bet. When we go to the next slide, you will see a function offered in Windows 10. Don't forget to bring Taco Bell with you to class when we meet next time. There is a fierce competition among major players like Microsoft and Google for e-collaboration systems. You might have used some of them before, such as Google Docs or Microsoft SharePoint. These systems help us overcome time and space restriction. Very much like this online class we are doing now. We are at this cell in this matrix where we meet at different place and time. Make sure that you think of other types of meetings that help place you in the other cells too. What I want you to think of next is how these systems fit to different type of benefits an information system has to offer. TPS, for example, is focusing more on operational excellence, while CRM and SCM are focusing more on creating a more intimate relationship with business partners. Now, it doesn't mean that CRM is not useful for operations. Sometimes, a system can help you achieve more than one benefit at the same time. It's something for you to think about. Here is the video I was talking about. Let's take a look.
Look around. Technology is all around us. We use it in every aspect of our lives. It enables us to do amazing things.
Are you guys ready to see your very first live holographic experience, all running on Windows 10? Please help me welcome on stage my dearest friend, Lorraine. Hi, Lorraine. Hi, Alex. So as Lorraine gets set up, let me walk you a little bit on what you're going to see. I'll point your attention to this screen here behind me, where at first you're going to see through Lorraine's eyes. You're going to see exactly what she's seeing in the hologram spin to the world. Then as we start building, we'll swap to this custom camera rig right here so you can easily understand how holograms fit into your world. So let's meet our first holographic person, and who better to introduce us to this holographic landscape than our very own Terry Meyerson. And look how well in pen Terry is. Now remember, Lorraine is seeing the hologram in space in real time. Shall we play it, Lorraine? Play.
Wow. Nice work, Windows 10. I'm a freaking hologram.
Welcome to Windows Holographic. Windows knows exactly where Lorraine is looking. And with a simple gesture, Lorraine can launch Holo Studio. With Holo Studio, anyone can create personalized 3D creations in just minutes. For today's
Besides the information systems that we discussed earlier, there are other technologies that draw attentions from firms. Firms are now directing more financial resources to explore the potential benefits and business impacts of these technologies. We also see how technologies enables new work processes such as telecommuting or teleworks. All these opportunities have impacts to businesses either directly and indirectly. With these so many new technologies out there, what can a firm do to invest smartly on IT? Before we get to the concept of IT investment, let's do a little quiz. How much do you think a family of 4 in the US spend on home entertainments a year in the US? $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, or $10,000? The answer is C, $5,000. Most of this spending are actually on gaming, content watching like movies, etc. On top of that, the average American spent almost $1,000 annually on services like cable television, internet connectivity, and video games, according to data from the Census Bureau. These numbers are from New York Times. Now let's think of how much American business spent on technologies every year. You want to guess how much? It is approximately $540 billion in 2012. That can be an entire budget for some small countries. And this number still continue to grow. These are investments on hardware, software, and communications equipment. Although businesses spend a large amount of money on IT, it is unfortunate that not every business will get the same payoff from these investments. Some firms are able to gain much higher productivities from their IT investment than others. Why? Part of that explanation is from the fact that information system is not just about technology. Organizational factors such as cultures and their existing operation can be either complementary asset to IT. They can also be asset that impairs the payoff from IT investment. That is because we have to learn how to manage such factor in a harmonious fashion. The management part is what our class is mostly about. For example, the failure of an IS project may come from applying the technology to a wrong business function. Some business functions such as sales and R&D may have a component that should not be automated. Or we may apply technology to a wrong group of users. These groups of information users have different need for information. The flow of information across these group of users has to also be managed properly. For instance, business executive may not need to see information at a very detailed level, but they want to be able to look at the information from different angles. That is why ESS should be a highly interactive systems that allows this group of users to slice and dice information. Wow! I hope you now look at information systems in a new light. At least, I want you to think of what else information technologies and information systems can do to your business. By that, I mean, I want you to look at new opportunities to use technologies. Perhaps an existing one that you already have at work, to facilitate a redesign of business processes. If you are beginning to think of that now, I think we will have a great discussion in this semester. Let me know if you have any questions. Here is my email.